It's a nice warm day here in Cape Town as we bring you CPL 3.0 from Western Province Cricket Club. My name's AJ Springshoek and welcome to day number 3 of CPL 3.0. I'm joined by Amara Hendricks. Amara, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we have All-Stars under 14 boys taking on the Heat on the B field. As teams now start jostling for those final positions, they have today and tomorrow still to make up some time or make up some points as they try and secure positions, their final positions for CPL 3.0. Amara, how are things on your side? It's a bit frustrating not having hockey at the moment, but you must be keeping yourselves busy with some other things.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit tough keeping yourself active, without having HP at the moment. So we've been given some home workouts, which isn't always fun, missing the team, missing the vibes. But yeah, I've just finished exams, so it's time to get back on track in terms of fitness and mindset. So yeah, just focusing on that at the moment.
So you were recently part of the SA, quite a nice opportunity for you to be part of the South African Olympic squad for a short period. Tell us what the vibe was like there, because it looked pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think besides excitement, it was extremely tough circumstances. I think we had 9 sessions over a weekend. I remember coming to Joburg and we would literally do our testing as we arrived. So, I mean, it's a super intense environment, but that's the environment you want to be in. And I think that definitely set the bar for me going forward, which is super inspiring. I mean, I saw how much room I need to grow into. So yeah, I'm super excited for the ladies though. They've just arrived in Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken. The village looks amazing, so I'm super excited for them. Hopefully they can bring it home.
Yeah, so news is that the South African ladies and men's Olympic side have arrived safely in Tokyo, settled into their Olympic village accommodation. Yes, it does look pretty cool, and I know it's going to be quite exciting, but they'll be getting straight into business. So I think the men's first game is against GB. We'll find out the ladies, I think, are playing. I'll check. I think they're playing India. I'm not entirely sure, but I know the men are playing GB, so they'll get down to business soon. And as we're watching, you have the Heat playing in red. The ladies will be playing Ireland. U14 next week Saturday, and the guys will be playing Great Britain. So there's 2 very, very, very tricky fixtures that they'll have first, but we're backing them big time. As we're watching on the field now, Heat playing from left to right in red and All-Stars playing in white from right to left under 14 boys. Ball moving from the left hand side now as they try to build up with some pressure coming from the All-Stars. Amara, another thing, you talk about that Olympic setup at the moment. Were there glaring things that you picked up about your own game that was like one of those light bulb moments where you say, oh, that's actually what I should be doing, that's what I should be doing differently? And also, second part of the question, how important is it for a player like yourself who's quite young, playing with senior players and learning and bouncing ideas off them?
You know what, I think going into the camps, I think it's all about going in with confidence, and then when you're there, I mean, you're coming from your university teams or school teams where you are playing pretty well, and you kind of get hit with the reality check that, okay, maybe my ball skills aren't on point, I can up my ball control. It's about the like 5-10% difference between you and SA Olympian. I think that was the biggest wake-up call for me, that there's always a chance for me to better myself in terms of my basics. And then it was just all about absorbing the information from the players, because everyone's giving their input and like everyone has their style of play, but it's all towards a common goal. And I think that was the amazing thing to learn from all of them. I mean, they're so super knowledgeable, and I was just trying to absorb everything that they were saying. Yeah.
And the next Olympics is only 3 years away.
Not far away.
Do you have newfound belief that you could potentially be in that side?
Definitely. I'm definitely set my long-term goals to be that. And then, I mean, next year they do have a Commonwealth and a World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. I'm definitely going to be knocking at the door. Not going to give up, and I'm just going to try my best to get into that team. Yeah. I think I've definitely got a foot in the door, but there's always people coming and competing against your spot. So I think it's just about keeping your confidence and keeping competitive. Yeah.
So as we're watching, ladies and gentlemen, it's CPL 3.0. All Stars now, it's still 0-0. All Stars playing in white from right to left as they're looking to build up down the right hand side. They're stretching the field quite nicely as they try and see as they build up through their defenders. Lots of space in the field. It will be very interesting to see how they make this. They make a nice pass through the middle. Unfortunately, just a little mistrap on a little dry surface. As Heat now with the ball in the middle of the field. If you guys have any comments or any questions that you would like to fire our way, please let us know on our YouTube channel. Fire us our way. Let us know who you're supporting, who you're watching, what boys or girls you are interested in seeing. And if you've got any questions for Amara as well, from a player who's been in the under-21 setup, been in the Olympic setup, please let us know. And I know she'll be grateful to answer those questions as they come along. Umpire Gordon Dodge deems it a bad tackle from one of the Heat players. Forgive us if we don't have names of players. We haven't been given team sheets, so we will take it as it comes. But it's not because we're not going to say your friend or your daughter or your son's name. It's just unfortunately we don't have them on us, but we'll give you the best that we can. As Heat now unfortunately is shielding from on the near baseline. Amara, I'm watching players munching quite early on the side. What was your go-to snack during your games, or something that you still do now? When you're coming off the field, what was in the Mara's hockey bag?
I think key thing for me was a protein bar or just some energy sweets, like some jelly sweets. Yeah, that's my key for me. Even though I'm representing Red Bull, unfortunately that's not in my bag at this moment. But yeah, just some water, some dates, and especially dates is my go-to snack.
Listen, those Red Bulls come in very, very handy in all types of situations. So I think the jellies are very thing. I had a manager of a team when I was at school, and she brought the biggest packet of jellies you could imagine. She still never told us where she got it from, but we always had these jellies that we could have, and I think all of us were so keen just to get off the field so we could have some jellies while we were playing down the side. As we look at the Heat putting the All Stars under quite a bit of pressure.
High pressing a little bit better now.
Yeah, so lots of pressure now. You play as a midfielder, yes, and sometimes as a forward. When a lot of I heard some of these comments from some players when they when we walk around the field and we listen to some of them talk. A lot of them are worried that if they go for a high press, that they're so concerned about what's happening behind them. I mean, from your input, when you guys go high press at Marty's or in the under 21 side, what are some of the key things to remember when doing it?
I think it's just about backing the player in front of you. I mean, they're going off of instinct there, and I think that is a core belief that a forward definitely has. If they see the moment they're going to go, and they back the midfielders to support them. So I think when the midfielders don't, I think they struggle to, then the gap between the forwards and the mids become way bigger. So I think it's just about backing your forwards in front of you, supporting them. I mean, if it's a wrong call, you tell them afterwards, and then you reset. Yeah, we just got to back our players, I think.
And also moving together. I think that's the key. I think a lot of the times we're worried about, and this is maybe one of the bigger things, is everybody's worried about somebody else not doing their job properly.
Yeah.
If everybody just focuses on their own job, I think they will. It makes things better. The ball comes in from the All Stars as Heat comfortably clear, and it's a counter-attack situation now from the Heat as they trying to find another forward. He's got a forward up front.
2v3 up front.
Oh, 2v3. Hits the foot just outside the 25. Umpire making sure that the All Stars players are 5 from that free hit. As he drive inside the circle, ball comes in, and ball infringement just outside the circle. As Heat now look, another opportunity. The ball travels 5 and comes inside the circle. Heat with a shot and little scrap inside the circle, and All Stars comfortably get the ball out as Heat now have another opportunity from a long corner spot. At the moment, it's Heat that seems to be having most of the territory and possession. All Stars only made 1 or 2 entries inside the circle. As they find some space down the right hand side. Some more pass comes inside the circle. All Stars ball picks it up and hits a Heat foot as Heat now look to clear the ball out. Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Thank you for joining us. We know we can't have you on the side of the field, but we bringing you the next best thing. My name's AJ Spearingzik. I'm joined here by national hockey player Amara Hendricks. As All Stars start moving the ball forward, as they now have opportunity to burst. They burst inside the 25 and well picked up by the Heat, and unfortunately giving the ball away now. All Stars with the ball as they win a free just inside the 25. Amara, you short-term goals though. You've got a potential IPT coming up soon, and an under-21 World Cup in Potch still to potentially part of.
Yeah, I mean, COVID has made things a bit tricky for our under-21 team. I think we were meant to be on camp at the end of July, so that has been postponed. So hopefully in August we'll be able to get together as a group, retrial the team for the Junior World Cup. Unfortunately, the AFCON was cancelled, so I think that was a bit bleak for our team, just in terms of getting some gameplay and getting the team out in the park. But we're going to regroup at camp in August and see how it goes from there. And then, yeah, I think the senior IPT will be in October. I think they've just confirmed that. So hopefully we'll be out in the park soon. I think these under 14 boys are enjoying it out in the sun today.
And big ball comes in, and unfortunately nobody at the end of it as All Stars take another free hit. Yeah, you got IPT coming up. You've also got an indoor IPT that somehow needs to happen before December as well, which we're not sure when that will happen. And a few other things going on. We were chatting earlier about your studies are slowly coming towards an end. What's the plan? I mean, you're probably going to think about in your hockey club. I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you what hockey club you're going to move to, but I know you in the next few years you'll be finishing your studies and looking to move on. Tell us about some of your favorite memories from being at Marty's.
I think, first year is always a highlight for everyone, and I'm sad for the first years that came in during COVID because they lost those that year or 2 years of their first varsity life. I think, being at Res and having the hockey team, it was like having two families in Stellies. And
so as Amara, to carry on, is All Stars now breaking inside the circle. Ball comes in and well picked up by the sweeper from Heat, but he's not cleared it, and All Stars still have the ball just outside the circle as another ball comes in, and All Stars with the ball now. Shot comes in and keeper wasn't actually sure where the ball went, and it was cleared by the Heat in a little bit of a dangerous situation. First or second clear-cut chance now in the game as things start to heat up a bit. So sorry, Amara, carry on there. So we was getting a little bit excited seeing the ball burst into the circle.
No, not to worry. The All Stars finally have some chance to some circle entries here, so let's see what they do.
Yeah, Heat clearing the ball. And on that, I mean, for any of the, the reality of the situation is that matrics that are finishing now and moving, we don't know how long these types of restrictions, we hope that these types of restrictions and that do disappear sooner rather than later. To a hockey player that's in matric now, that is going to go to university, and they have this type of situation, what type of advice could you give them? Because it's obviously not a normal, straight from high school into varsity, and you now start playing. You've got all these other factors to take into account. Is there any advice? You've now been through it just before COVID happened. Now you're in it as COVID happens, so you've been on both ends of it.
Yeah, COVID happened when I was in my final year, so that was super bleak. You want to go out in your final year with a bang, and I'm guessing they want to come in with a bang. So I think it's just about keeping the dream alive. If you are a hockey player or if you are just a university student, you're going there for the experience, and whether the experience is online or in person, just make the most of it and cherish the moments you do have, and make the most of the small moments and appreciate it, because we don't know how long we're going to have it for. So
yeah, that's definitely made us be grateful for what we have, and as the end of the first quarter the first quarter comes to an end, as Heat and All Stars still locked at 0-0. Both teams with reasonable amount of chances so far. It's a bit stop-start at the moment, but I think from both sides, Heat and All Stars both have had their fair share of opportunities, and coaches have a few seconds now just to get a message across to them as we have this under 14 match. Myself and Amara will be with you for this game and the game starting at 2 o'clock, and then we'll be moving over to the A field from 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock. And my name's AJ Spearingzik, joined with Amara Hendrickson, Samantha van Oudtshoorn saying go All Stars. Thank you, Samantha. We appreciate your comments. If you got any comments and questions, please let us know as Heat start the second chukka as they continue to play from right to left with another 12 minutes to go till half time. There's lots of pace down the right hand side as All Stars look to build up. Umpire not happy with the tackle coming in. Amari, if you were coach at the first chukka there, what for All Stars or Heat, what would you be saying? I mean, you don't have much time to say anything in the chukka.
No, but I think the Heat team have had a lot of chances, a lot of opportunity, but have been super direct with their circle entries. So I think it's just about moving the ball a bit more.
And as you say that All Stars drive inside the circle, and we talk about those opportunities, and All Stars with almost 45 seconds into the second chukka, they've taken a 1-0 lead, and there we talk about your chances that the Heat didn't take, and now they 1-0 down.
Yeah, I think that was a good play from the All Stars. I think it's just about taking the opportunity as soon as you get it. And if you don't, find the next best pass.
Yeah, and to touch on direct, I think a lot of the times teams are so impatient to get towards the circle as fast as possible. They don't look for that necessarily extra pass, and that's definitely something that Heat have been doing. You can look in the All Stars, that goal, there was 3 or 4 very, very good passes to eliminate players, and suddenly found a strike on top D, and you're not going to give a striker a second chance to want to take a shot at goal.
Yeah, I think, but a lot of this game has been played in the midfield, so I think it's just about moving the ball pre-scanning and knowing where your other player is, because there's a lot of play being played in the middle of the field at the moment.
Yeah, and All Stars now play beaten as they drive down to the right hand side. They've got a few players inside the circle, but Heat get some players back as they now look to clear the danger. There's a nice big ball into midfield as he finds his centre midfielder. Unfortunately, not a bad tackle, but a tackle that is that is just infringed the players. Heat have the ball. There's a big ball inside towards the circle. He did have a forward high up, unfortunately intercepted by All Stars, as All Stars now look for the same thing. As slowly they try to move the ball through midfield. A lot more patient style, I can say. They're always looking for that extra pass. They're not looking to take on a player 1v1 like the Heat have been.
Yeah, I think the All Stars have settled in their confidence a bit now with their goals, so it's looking good.
As Heat start to move the ball around the back, as a nice ball into midfield, and he's going to now look for another pass and makes a pass, but unfortunately another 50-50 ball. Another 50-50 ball. Umpire wasn't happy with that challenge as Heat player just followed through a little bit with the elbow there, and he wasn't happy, and he warned him as it was his second time. He needs to look out, because it's next time that it happens, he's most likely going to spend some time on the side.
Yeah, and AJ, how about you? I heard one of your races were cancelled recently. What's looking like? What's happening going forward?
I never like it when races get cancelled, and the more frustrating thing was cancelled on a very last minute. But understandably,
from my knowledge, you actually travelled all the way.
Yeah, so got to PE or Gqeberha, and unfortunately, got there, and then the race was the Saturday, and Wednesday evening they called it off. And but the reality of the fact is that it was the right call. Just a bit frustrating that the call was made so late.
Yeah.
We are fortunate that in triathlon or in multisports it is a very social distant event.
Yeah.
So you can have fairly small fields in that, but I mean, understandably so. There's been ball comes inside the circle and just goes over the baseline. So it's been frustrating, but I'm back to training now. I mean, I got to keep reminding myself that as an athlete, I mean, my results have been pretty good and doing pretty well, but the reality is we're doing it because we absolutely love it. So I'm not going to stop training just because events don't happen.
Yes.
Ball comes inside the circle, and it's a really good ball as All Stars player takes a shot, comes in and beats the keeper and beats, unfortunately, the two defenders on the baseline, and All Stars.
The keeper got a save on that, actually.
Yeah, he's probably got to stick on that, and then First one saved and then got it through, and then two players on the baseline unfortunately couldn't clear, as All Stars now take a very, very good 2-0 lead into the for about 7 minutes left in the second chucking. So yeah, it's been frustrating, but I keep reminding myself that we all doing this because we love it. I'm not swimming, cycling and running just for an event. I do it because it's lots of fun. It's lots of pain at sometimes, I know. But I do it because it's lots of fun. I just got to keep reminding myself that, and I don't want to go into my shell when these races don't happen. And yeah, the reality is that we don't know when the next one's going to happen. We don't know when things might change. We never knew this COVID was going to be around, so I'm just taking it as it comes, enjoying the process, enjoying the training sessions that my coach gives me, and also it's fun to then after training sessions come and commentate and watch future hockey players like these at CPL 3.0 as All Stars seem to have all of the game at the moment, as they seem to be growing quite a lot in confidence, moving the ball around quite a bit. So Amara, what do you think they've done differently in this chukker?
You know what, I think they've definitely found some weighted passes up to the forwards, which has gotten past their defensive line, which I think has been really advantageous to the All Stars team. I think they've just found themselves a short corner as well.
Yeah, so first penalty corner now to the All Stars as they look to take a commanding 3-0 lead into half time, which is about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think the All Stars are also winning their battle in the midfield, which gives them quite a bit of space going forward.
And we're bringing you under 14 boys hockey action from CPL 3.0 at Province Creek Club. To the double castle and see which one goes to the short castle. Flick comes in and hits the first wave on the stick, and a good run out from the first wave as Heat now look to clear the ball, but they haven't cleared it. Shot comes in from the All Stars and goes, unfortunately mishit and goes wide, as again All Stars are piling all the pressure on the Heat at the moment. I'm sure Heat was hoping for that halftime whistle to come soon, but they've still got quite a bit of time left before halftime. Heat with a foot down the right hand side as they're looking. You can see the big difference here is Heat's keen to go 1v1 and try and win 1v1 battles, where All Stars are all looking to try and release that ball as soon as they get it. It's a big difference between the two sides currently.
I think the All Stars team are actually doing well at meeting the player when the Heat team receives the ball, so it's putting a lot of pressure on the Heat side.
See Samantha van Oortzeren saying, come on, come boys, go for it. Samantha, are you supporting a specific boy in the side? Thank you very much for your comments, and we're happy that you're joining us here. See a nice Saturday afternoon in Cape Town. Don't be fooled, the sun is out, it is a little bit warm, but no doubt it's probably going to get colder quite quickly later. As Heat now with the ball on the left hand side, as they now look to build up and patiently just All Stars just sitting back and just waiting for them to come at them. Umpire just calming the situation down as two players just bump each other off the ball. Big ball comes inside the circle, mistrap by Heat as All Stars with the ball now. Are they going to get the shot? The shot comes, pass comes in, a little reverse stick pass past the keeper, and All Stars taking a very, very good 3-0 lead in this game.
I think that was a brilliant through ball. I think the All Stars boy did well to turn and find another player on the P spot. It was a nice tap in from the All Stars team.
Amara, what I'm impressed by this is the way in which they're finding players in a better position, because a lot of times when you run inside the circle and you're in no position, like so for instance, if we look at the player that was on the baseline, he was in no position to score and somehow found him as the ball comes in for All Stars. Have a shot now, hits a foot, and All Stars now under a little bit of pressure as he try and get that goal back straight away with their penalty corner. You know, a lot of time you go inside the circle, you don't have any opportunity to score a goal. You just take a shot at the goal, and you see another boy with a nice reverse stick pass to a player in a better position. And that's something that, you know, back in the day, at this age group, we wouldn't see. And now we're seeing these boys doing it, which is so impressive. Ball comes out and shot comes in as he takes it and it hits a stick, and unfortunately hits an All-Stars player on the body.
Another short corner.
He'd get a second penalty corner. Madeleine now say go All-Stars, and Samantha, my son Callum, so number 50. So go Callum, but thank you very much for the support of all the boys. We appreciate it, and we thank you for joining us.
Unfortunately, our All-Stars player breaks early. Re-awarded another short corner.
Yeah, All-Stars now will defend with only 3 outfield players. Ball comes in, shot comes in, and very brave defending there, but Heat still have the ball, hits a foot, and so as you would notice, his umpire is sending the 4th player back, and the reason for that is that this is still part of the same penalty corner. It's a re-award, so that means they still got to defend with 3 players. If it was a completely new penalty corner, then they would allow to go back to 4 players, but because it's a re-award, they now still have to defend with 3 players. As Heat now with a big opportunity to go to take a goal back. He's got the ball and loses control, and All-Stars clear the ball out on the sideline. A couple of seconds left in the game before halftime, and Heat will definitely want to take some momentum into the halftime break. Unfortunately, a missed trap from the Heat is down the All-Stars now, slowing the game down a little bit. They know it's a couple of 10 seconds before halftime, and they're just going to take some time to slow it down, control it as halftime whistle goes, and All-Stars with 3 goals in that second chucker as they take a 3-0 lead into halftime, and something that they would be very, very happy with in that second half. But Amara, what's impressed you, or what some of your comments from the game that you've seen so far?
No, I think give it to the All-Stars for coming back after the first half. The first chucker, they didn't have as much possession as they did now in the second chucker, and I think they did well with it. I don't know what the coach said to them in that little team talk, but it clearly gave them some inspiration. I think they've gained their confidence. I think it's just about holding this lead, and I think the Heat have a good chance of coming back, so they just need to keep their defending strong.
So we look at some of the CPL stats from CPL 2.0, thanks to Sportivo for providing us with these stats. Is 505 goals scored, of which 390 were field goals, 98 were penalty corner goals, and 17 were penalty stroke goals. We thank Sportivo for providing us with that. Let's go both sides now. Let's use the All-Stars as an example. So you're in the All-Stars team, you've had an unbelievable second chucker now going to half. What would you like to hear from your coach if you were sitting in that box now?
No,
or sitting in that team talk?
I think I'd want my coach to commend us for our efforts, but I also think give us some pointers on how to keep our lead and almost gain even more ground on them. I think it's not about sitting back and being comfortable with 3-0 lead. I think it's about gaining more goals, and just keep doing what they're doing and just bettering it, I think.
So let's go the opposite side now. As we see on the screen, the previous winners from CPL 2.0. The Heat's got a tough job because they've gone 3 goals in 1 chucker, and obviously 3 goals at half time, and fairly deflated at the moment. What's important from that side? I mean, it could be fairly simple. I could say, no, you must motivate them, but there could be a lot of things going on. So as a player in that situation, where you've been in the types of situation, what is the thing that you want to hear from your coach in that position?
You know what, I think for me it's first about, besides motivating us, it's about showing us where the opportunity is and knowing that we can do that. So or we are able to get the goals. I think you can score a goal in 8 seconds, and I think that's what they need to keep in mind. The game is definitely not over. If the opposition team can do it in 1 chucker, they can do it in 1 chucker too, and they can do it even better. I think it's just about getting the team together and finding that inspiration, and maybe it's about one person or one player, stepping up and inspiring the rest. And I think the players also need to take it on themselves to do that.
So just some scores from the A field at the moment. The Raiders are taking on the All-Stars and it's 0-0. And the 16 boys game on the opposite side, so they're busy playing at the moment. As it is still 0-0. You can also see that live stream on the CPL YouTube channel. You can also follow us on our social media channel at CT Premier League or Cape Town Premier Hockey League, and engage with us there. Let us know where you are supporting from. So we have All-Stars now with the ball on the left-hand side. Although they don't want to get too complacent, I think they'll still try and dictate the tempo of the game and dictate the pace that the game will be played at. But just careful not to get into a bit of a comfort zone, because we know how quickly that can backfire as they build up quite nicely down the left-hand side. Some really good passing with some spoke. And unfortunately losing the ball in midfield, but he's won it again via a free hit. As All-Stars again continue their wonderful passing game, as they're just trying to find somebody in a better position. A really good receive back inside the middle as they now enter the halfway line, coming towards the circle. Ball comes in and ball to far post, and just very, very close shot coming in and just missing the target towards the right. But All-Stars get it back now and how Heat wins it back, and All-Stars win it back again as they drive down the right-hand side as they're about to enter inside the circle.
Good baseline run.
Very, very nice baseline run coming in, and All-Stars again still piling on the pressure at the moment at the start of the call. Ball goes inside the circle and unfortunately hits a Heat stick onto an All-Stars foot, as All-Stars Heat now have a chance just to try and get some momentum back in the start of the second half and the third chukker. Thanks again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring you CPL 3.0 from Western Province Cricket Club. We still got a couple of matches throughout the evening on the B and the A field. You can see both coverages live via MyCom Link and ES Media from both fields. Myself and Amara will be with you for this game and the next game, and then I'll be moving across to the A field for the games at 4 and 5 p.m. This evening. And here's All-Stars with lots of space down the right hand side. Got a chance. Ball comes inside the circle. Unfortunately, a mistrap, and Heat now trying to release the ball. And they've got lots of space to go. They've got an overlap. Ball comes in. It's now 2v2. Lots of pace in the front. Heat with the ball, trying to chase it down. He's just got to it on baseline. Very well done, and wins a penalty corner for a wonderful counter attack there from the Heat as they try and get a goal back.
I think that was clever play from the midfielder to throw that ball into space. He had two players going up front, so yeah, one in the short corner.
I mean, you play in a position like we mentioned earlier, between forward and midfield. I mean, sometimes throwing the ball into space actually is a more dangerous pass than throwing it to the player.
Yeah, definitely. I think most forwards are extremely fast players, and I think they can find the space in and behind the defensive lines, and then you find yourself with a one-on-one with the keeper. I know that's happened to me personally.
The question is, did you score?
Varsity Cup memories.
So ball comes in, and Heat with another chance. The ball comes in, and shot comes in from the Heat, and Heat get their first goal, and some good work from a lovely counter attack, and All-Stars just committing too many numbers forward, and Heat having a counter attack, winning a penalty corner and taking it. I think it was their third or their fourth penalty corner, and now they're onto the score sheet as it's 3-1 now to the All-Stars, and All-Stars straight away go on the attack down the left hand side, but lose the ball as Heat now look for another opportunity to try go forward as they feed the ball down the left hand side to one of the Heat strikers. This players inside is nice little run inside and picked up, but umpire deemed an infringement just inside the 25. They always talk, Amara, about the 5 minutes or the couple of minutes just after a goal is scored, because either you get so just for those people. Ball comes inside the circle and a shot comes in.
Great skill from that Heat player.
Within a minute, Heat have pulled 2 goals back, and it's 3-2. And we spoke about it. So just talk about, as a player, what it actually means, what coaches mean and what teams mean, but after you score that goal, that important period just after that goal.
Yeah, I mean, that 5 minutes after the goal, I mean, the opposition team must have some sort of confidence. You as the conceding team had to have taken a bit of a knock, and I think it's just about keeping it together, keeping it tight, and just defending it out for that 5 minutes, regaining your confidence. And I think the Heat team just capitalized on them getting that goal.
And also one thing you'll notice is that the Heat, you can see the spring in their step. You can see there's belief now that they know, because they've scored 2 goals in the space of a minute. And you can see the belief levels a little bit better there. And you can see the All-Stars have probably taken a step back as well and saying to themselves, oh, okay, we need to just be aware of the situation we find ourselves. And there we go, we got lots of space. Heat with the ball down the right hand side. As they look, big ball comes inside the circle, finding a attacking play. Ball goes through the keeper, but unfortunately All-Stars puts the ball over the baseline.
And that is themselves a short corner. That's amazing.
Yeah, another penalty corner, and we talk about the goals being scored in such short time. They have another opportunity, I think it's a space of, I've lost count now of how many goals, how many minutes it was, but now the Heat have a chance within a short space of time to take it to 3-3. But it seems like they've only got two players up front. I think there's a lot of guys that weren't interested in being involved in the penalty corners. Push comes out as chance here. Hit comes in, and unfortunately he misses it and deemed dangerous by the umpires, as All-Stars now have a chance, and they should probably just take their time, just
settle a little bit. I think we spoke about those opportunities here. The Heat team have finally taken their chances, and I spoke about the inspiration from one player. I know the second goal came from one player stepping up, skilling a few people and taking the shot, and I think that moment of confidence is what gives a team some fire.
And it's quite. I mean, these are the things that we see in sport quite often, where a team is comfortably leading 3-0, and now they still in the lead comfortably, but you'll notice they'll probably they've started to get a little bit worried, a little bit uneasy.
You'll start seeing some mistraps, some missed passes, and I think that's what creeps in when you concede a goal and you've been in a comfortable lead. So I think it's just about keeping calm.
Yeah, as Heat now win a free hit, as again we say they've stepped up. They've definitely there's a bounce in their step a little bit. The belief level has definitely improved. It's going to be a very, very exciting end of this third chukka, and definitely in the fourth chukka, because I think irrespective of what happens, the Heat will definitely be the happier team going into the third chukka break. Umpire reverse back, hits the back of the Heat stick, and Samantha saying nice Heat, lovely goal. Yes, we agree that was a very good goal. And Chantal Hayes saying go Heat. Valerie Hayes saying well played Reese, Heat number 19. I think he scored that second goal and was really, really good. And the boys, these under 14 boys, are really making this game very exciting. As we say, the ball comes inside the baseline, and another chance for All-Stars to take another goal lead. Another big ball comes inside, and it's again two strikers with a keeper that might run out of legs, and keeper's made the save, and I think it just went over the baseline before he trapped it. But lots of space behind the All-Stars defense, something that the coach is going to have to address at halftime, because the Heat seem to be finding multiple opportunities. Because if it gets to a Heat player, and unfortunately that ball was just a little bit too far, if it gets to a Heat player, I think they'll definitely have in the mood that they're in at the moment, they'll find a goal quite easily. As All-Stars now attacking just outside, just entering the 25. Big ball comes inside the circle as Heat clear the ball now, as intercepted again by All-Stars players as they look to build it down the left hand side. You can see a little bit of a spring in their step as they try to extend their lead. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching under 14 boys Heat versus the All-Stars, Saturday afternoon, This game has lightened up very, very nicely. It was 3-0. If you're just joining us, it was 3-0 to the All-Stars at half-time. And it was a couple of minutes into the second chukker, or the third chukker, and Heat just scored 2 very, very quick goals. Got a penalty corner, scored a goal, and directly after the penalty corner scored another one. And the game is definitely lit up a little bit, and players have definitely, the belief levels are higher, and we're going to see exciting second half on the cards at the moment as Heat have with a free hit. Ball down the right hand side. Heat All-Stars putting them under a lot of pressure, but missed challenges. Feed the ball down the right hand side here. What would you tell the players now? Okay, so you All-Stars coach, you've conceded 2 goals. It's now 3-2. It's not as comfortable as we thought it would be. What's the message you give? You only got a minute.
Yeah, I think it's just it's about not being frantic. I think they're struggling to find their players, and that's their strong suit. The All-Stars team I'm talking about now, they are very good at their passes and working together as a team. So I think it's just about trusting in that and not trying to take on too many players one-on-one.
Yeah, I think something with the All-Stars will have to do is also be very aware of not committing their whole team upfield, and that's what they've done is they've committed and they've forgotten about their defense. I think from the Heat point of view, the Heat coach is going to want them to continue those big balls that they're playing forward is working for them, but I think they've got to find somebody in a better position because at the moment the passes are going ahead of them and they're not getting to it. But if they do find a player in a position, they're definitely going to find that. I also think from defensively, I think the Heat have got to just man mark a little bit tighter inside the circle. I think they're letting players go too much. So those are 2 things that I think from both sides there are still lots for them to work on. There's a couple of seconds left. There's Heat now looking to clear the ball and they're not able to clear it. And All-Stars have a hit outside and whistle goes as third chukker comes to an end. We've still got an exciting 12 minutes ahead of us as All-Stars hold a 3-2 lead over the Heat currently.
Yeah, I think the Heat are going to try and capitalize on those weighted passes up front. It's been working for them, so hopefully the teams manipulate each other well. Otherwise, the Heat can capitalize on that, or the All-Stars will be finding themselves some good passes up front and maybe some chances.
Also, something that you notice if you look at the Heat now, their heads were dropped completely at halftime. Their heads were down. They were all. Now you can see there's a little bit. The body language is much better, and I think it's something that is definitely important. Is body language is seriously important, and the boys are definitely.
They have a newfound belief.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely, and it's credit to them for finding that, and I think it's definitely helped them. And Heat players are not ready, but whistle's been blown, and remember, if the time starts and if the quarter time is done, ball comes inside the circle and Tomahawk shot about to come in, but it was defended by Watson. And All-Stars within a minute, couple of seconds, find a foot inside the circle. And you might think, well, Heat weren't ready, but the umpire blew his whistle. The rules are fairly simple. Once that countdown clock ends at the chukker, the players need to be ready. Normally the umpires warn them with a couple of seconds to go, so they have time. And Heat were unfortunately not ready, and because they dugouts on the opposite side, they had to run all the way, and now they find themselves with a penalty corner and a chance for All-Stars to score a goal. And unfortunately, ball lifting up and hitting the foot from the All-Stars. Heat with a big ball now inside. They still got space that behind the All-Stars defense. He's got to feed the ball. Unfortunately, he doesn't feed the ball in time and takes the ball on the wrong spot. There was space behind the All-Stars defense.
Yeah, it seems as though the All-Stars defense haven't identified their players in and behind them. I think the Heat have found 2 players hanging quite high.
Maybe it's because the boys, the Heat strikers up there are tiny and they're trying to hide themselves behind the defenders, and the defenders can't pick them up. It's All-Stars now with another opportunity. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got any comments or you supporting anyone, please let us know, and let us know on our live stream as Heat comfortably move the ball out as All-Stars now build down the right hand side. It's a nice drive as beats a single player inside the circle. Ball comes to top. Shot comes in. Keeper makes a save. Another shot opportunity and
Just goes wide.
And good chances here by the All-Stars. Ball comes in and Heat are really looking at pace to go down the lane. And again, flat black three, and they've got space inside, in space forward. Hits the back of the stick as Heat still looking for that counter-attack, looking to move forward so quickly. Overhead goes towards the right hand side, finding a bit of space for All-Stars play. Unfortunately, he wasn't 5 when that ball was controlled. As ball comes in, All-Stars with the now them looking to go back, and you can see the Heat. What they've done is they've moved extra players at the back so that they somehow nullify the counter-attacking threat from All-Stars. All-Stars working hard to get forward and got a chance now. And unfortunately, mistrap as All-Stars look to ball down the right hand side. Heat win it again, but unfortunately they give it away as All-Stars will now look to capitalize from the side again. All-Stars with the ball on the right. Still got space. Lots of running from both teams at the moment. They're really fighting hard to win the ball back. Umpire says play on as Heat wins the ball, and they've got some players up front, but unfortunately can't find it again, intercepted by All-Stars.
I think that All-Stars defenders are just becoming more aware of those balls coming through.
Yeah, it's something they probably picked up at halftime that they in the chucker that they need to pick up, because those through balls is essentially what ball comes inside the circle. Tomahawk shot comes in, unfortunately hits the back of his stick, and some really good movement. They're finding All-Stars finding their players inside the circle. One thing they shouldn't do is get frustrated in the situation. They don't want to get too frustrated, and they just got to stay focused and keep working hard. I mean, it will come. Reverse stick. Heat comes outside the circle, but All-Stars pick it up as they now look to go back towards the circles. Nice ball across inside the 25 as the ball comes in, but Heat just pick it up just outside their circle, but are still under lots of pressure. They're going to need to clear it and come to clear it with a chance now with All-Stars 2v1. Looking for a pass, and he's made the pass, and strike unfortunately just goes a little bit past him. And again, one of those long passes that unfortunately doesn't get to a striker. The opportunities are there. Damien Verlander saying go Heat. Thank you, Damien. Throwing a little dab in there on the YouTube comments. You know Amara loves a little dab. Very nice ball there to the All-Stars as they move down the right hand side. Lots of space, but Heat seem to be holding the defensive areas quite nicely. Unfortunately, a mistrap. Understandably, with the way that the speed that this game's been played, that the players are starting to get tired. They have had 2 days of hockey already, and we can understand, obviously, with not as many school matches, much training sessions, maybe the fitness levels aren't where they should be, but the boys have really put in a great effort throughout this game. The tiredness is actually a good sign of them playing really well. As big ball down the right hand side to the Heat, as again All-Stars pick the ball up. The 50-50 ball hits the foot of the Heat. Heat now picks up the ball down the right hand side. We've got under 6 minutes to go. There's lots of time for All-Stars to secure a win and for Heat to secure their win to try and get a couple of goals back. So it's lots of time there. As Heat now with the ball, but there's a lot of tired bodies and a few mistakes creeping in, but the boys are still fighting, which is great to see. As Heat with another ball, but players not 5, and unfortunately umpire is going to deem that a foul as he takes a green card for 2 minutes. All-Stars will be a one-man down. I mean, we've spoken about, in a game like this, big ball comes inside the circle. It's not controlled by All-Stars as Heat comes in, and penalty stroke given to the Heat. They mistrapped the ball. Defender came back after making a mistake and unfortunately pushed the Heat player over, and a chance from the penalty stroke spot here. We spoke about a man down and how important, even though there is 11 players in the field, one man down makes a big difference, eh?
Yeah, I think it's also the mental game. I think the All-Stars players didn't set up properly. They were a bit frantic after the green card, and Heat just capitalized on that. And I think, yeah, it might put them on the front foot now.
I mean, this is a big moment. We've got 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes to go.
This may be the equalizer.
It's a big moment in the game as Heat try and take it to equalizer. Flick comes in and it's 3-3, and very happy bench on the side as Heat, after being 3-0 down, have come back to 3-3, and still All-Stars have a man down, so they still have an opportunity to go 4-3 up. And what a change this game has been in.
Yeah, I think you spoke about the body language, and we're seeing not only the fatigue, but we're seeing the heads dropping a little bit from the All-Stars, and I think they need to just keep that belief alive, you know?
Yeah, it's a complete, this game's completely changed to how, it's complete, the second half is completely different to the first half. All-Stars were dominating completely, and to a certain extent they've probably had a lot of possession and territory in the third and fourth chukka, but not been as effective after those two, and we boiled down to those two goals, those two back-to-back goals that the Heat scored. And another opportunity as ball goes down the right hand side, and he's going to chase hard to try and get it, but unfortunately just goes a little bit too far. And that's been the story of the Heat game so far. It's just been a meter or so too far ahead of the boys. But what an exciting finish we have here. We've just got 3 and a bit minutes left.
Yeah, I think we spoke about taking those opportunities, and I think the teams have just flipped that around. The Heat have been taking the opportunities in the third chukka, and now we've seen in the fourth chukka they've just they've absolutely dominated that confidence.
All-Stars now with a chance to build up, but they lose the ball, and now the Heat do have players up front, but unfortunately it's just a missed pass, but it's picked up by Heat as they win a free deep on the left hand side of the All-Stars defense, and they look to patiently build this up and try and move inside the circle. This is
the third goal scorer that is trying to take on the All-Stars.
Yeah, and well defended there by the All-Stars as they move the ball. They're going to look to try and see if they can resurrect something, and they've got players forward, but again they've now gone into the whole habit of taking players 1v1.
Yeah.
You know, where those nice connecting passes that they made worked enough, and ball comes in now. Inside across the circle, he's got a chance to take a shot, but defenders right in front of him as the Heat defense is working so hard, and unfortunately one of the Heat players' sticks hitting an All-Stars player's stick, and the umpire deeming it a stick tackle, as All-Stars now with just on 2 minutes to go win a penalty corner. And Uzanator says, "Can I get a hoo-yah?" And then Paul Naylor saying, "Keep the Heat on, let's win this." And All-Stars with a chance now from the penalty corner spot under 2 minutes to go, as both teams will have a chance. And I think ball comes into the first castle as just bobbles up a little bit, but it's a zigzag and mistrap. But All-Stars have numbers forward, and if they can get the ball moving, they can get it up to their strikers up front, because Heat has players up front. All-Stars have taking their time to come back, and
I think that was good discipline from the Heat team in terms of their defensive work.
Heat feeding the ball forward, and unfortunately a mistrap, and All-Stars have a chance now to pick it up, but still under a little bit of pressure as they enter over the halfway line. Heat wins the ball now, and another opportunity for them, and both teams trying so hard with just on a minute left to go to get that fourth goal. As Heat deep inside the left hand side now, reading baseline, good baseline run, little aerial skills, and ball comes in and hits the keeper.
Skill, well done keeper.
Good save by the keeper, staying upright. You know, sometimes we're so eager to try and make a save, but the keeper just stayed upright, hit his body, really good save. And Heat now with an opportunity now as they got numbers forward, but they've got to make their passes, and unfortunately making it to an All-Star play. An exciting little finish here with 30 seconds left to go as Heat again with the ball inside the circle. All-Stars with the ball inside the circle, and cleared out by the Heat. The All-Stars calling for a penalty corner because they deem it that the ball went over the baseline deliberately, but it did not. All-Stars now with a chance. They're going to look to try and get a big ball inside the circle, but that's it, ladies and gentlemen. 3-3. What a game. Amara, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think any of us expected this from this game. Hey, going into the first chukker, it was a bit of a slow start, but we loved this entertainment. I think the boys did well at bringing that fighting spirit. I think, both did well. I think the Heat did very well to come back, and they capitalized on their opportunities.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what a finish. 3-0 to the All-Stars at 1 point, and Heat coming back with scoring the third. We thank you very much for joining us, but don't go away, for our next game will be happening soon. And from myself, AJ Spierenzuk and Amara Hendricks, bye for now.
Thank you.